I'm in Canada, Ontario. So my situation is probably completely different from wherever you live, but I still decided to make a video that I will be posting just as a way to maybe possibly help people who have gone through or might possibly unfortunately go through the same experience I did at the hospital, just so you kind of know your rights, but do your own research and stuff because I'm not a lawyer. For me, my abuse, assault, and battery and false imprisonment all happened at the Chatham-Kent Health Alliance in Canada. And I was debating for a while whether to say it out loud or not because I'm not a lawyer, right? So I don't know, but I thought public best interest, and I don't want anyone to go through the same stuff, and I'm trying not to cry, that I did. Dr. Frederick Arthur is the doctor who didn't get my mom's consent before doing anything medically or sending me involuntarily. He didn't listen to me. He didn't want to talk to me. He was very dismissive. I had him one other time, unfortunately, back in 2019 when I was having gallbladder attacks. I didn't know they were gallbladder attacks, but they really, really hurt, like clutching over painful. And unfortunately, he dismissed me then too. He called it period cramps. He just said it was that, even though I was TMI peeing like these weird crystallized things, and that wasn't normal, and I was clutched over in pain. Thankfully, my life was saved by a different doctor, a different time, that actually took the time to even get an ultrasound done. That's all I needed, was just something. And so thankfully, I got that done then, and they found it was an inflamed gallbladder, and my life was saved, but not thanks to him. So when I saw him in that emergency room when I was there, dehydrated from food poisoning, I was terrified because he was acting like that again, and I remembered him from how he was before, and he was the same doctor that almost, didn't save my sister's life too, from a separate incident. Also got saved by a different doctor, thank goodness. Literally all the hospital had to do, or all the doctor had to do, was actually reach out to my mom like she requested. Like, if they say you're incompetent, then they have to find a substitute decision maker, and that would have been either my mom or my sister. And they didn't talk to either of them. They just kept saying that I was apparently sleeping, and I was not sleeping, and they actually didn't let me call them at all. They didn't let me have access to the phone for 2 whole days. Even when they transferred me to the mental health part, they actually kept me physically locked up, so I couldn't. Even when I got hit in the chest, elbowed in the chest, by George, the male nurse. There were 2 other female nurses. Unfortunately, I don't know their names. I am pretty sure one was Tammy because her eyes were also blue, but there was another that had blue eyes, and neither one of them unfortunately reported him. Hurt me more. Their fear, it hurt me more, and them not actually reporting it like they're supposed to really, really messed me up, and it messed up any possible justice I could have had, because there's no report of it, there's no documentation of it, because their video recording surveillance apparently is monitoring only, and that messes it up. So even though I went through the proper channels of struggling to do the College of Nurses, it it didn't help because the hospital wasn't complying, and I thankfully knew the nurse's first name, George. Didn't know his last name, so I just wanted to make sure I knew his last name, and I thought they could do that. I gave them the description. There's literally only one person who worked that day who fit the description, whose name was also George. And in my health records, which I cannot show at all here because I do know that it's legally the hospital's property, so I would get in trouble. It has his name listed on the dates that I had said that he was there, including when he hit me, and then a separate date 2 days later when he gave me water. So January 10th, 2021 is when he hit me, and then January 13th, 2021 is when I saw him again, and he gave me water, and I had like a really bad panic attack. Back then I didn't know what panic attacks were, and it was really bad because I feared that he was gonna hurt me again as he walked me back to the room, and all I knew is I wasn't safe in that place. I didn't feel safe. It was not safe for me. I just wanted to go home to my cat, to my room, be safe there. No one was letting me call. I couldn't report it, and I didn't know that I had right to legal counsel because they didn't tell me my rights, and that was a right, or else I would have done it so fast. But right after George hit me in the chest, I was put in what they called seclusion room. I made videos on all that stuff, but I didn't know it was called seclusion room. I thought it was solitary confinement because it looked like what I imagined solitary confinement was. There's no water. I'm actually very, very lucky I survived, and I don't know how I did, because the doctor even noted not to give me certain medications because it could cause, I don't know the exact term right now, but it was like cardiac depression or something, because I have a heart murmur, and it caused severe chest pains, and it was really bad when they gave me the forced injection. They weren't supposed to, they weren't allowed to, but they did. I didn't even do anything that would have warranted it. I was literally trapped in a room, freezing, and not given any water, even though I was dehydrated. They knew I was dehydrated. They knew I had food poisoning. It was documented. My mom told them, I told them, everybody told them. And like my mom and family even said, it's not a mental illness. She's just dehydrated. It's from food poisoning and lack of sleep. And even I tried to say that, they didn't listen. And it was very upsetting to read some of the stuff they put in my health records because there was a lot of misinformation and false information. And then there's stuff written in it that made me look like I was mentally ill. Like if I looked off to the side, not eye contact, it said that I was hallucinating. No, I was terrified. I was petrified the entire time I was there that one of them was going to hurt me, and I kept thinking about it. Not only did the Chatham-Kent Health Alliance not have permission to take me to the involuntary hospital, but they kept me past the 72-hour limit. They kept me for 6 whole days, and then had put in my record falsely that I was there voluntarily for the last 3 days, despite my sister literally coming to request my release, and they said no. And despite me asking, and they said no. It was false imprisonment. Kind of ran out of time, but I just wanted to say that, and to check your health records, request them, look at them, because you do not know what is written in them that might be false, and you want that fixed if you can. Thank you to whoever's listening.